got the alcoholic blues. No more beer, my heart to care. Goodbye, whiskey, you used to make me frisky. So long, highball, so long, gin. Oh, tell me when you're coming back again. Blues, I've got the blues since they amputated my blues. Lordy, Lordy, war is well. You know, I don't have to tell. Oh, I've got the alcoholic blues, some blues. Prohibition, that's the name. Prohibition drives me insane. I'm so thirsty, soon I'll die. I simply grind, evaporate, I scarce that dry. I wouldn't mind to live forever in a train if my thirst had only let me quench, and not with Bevo or ginger ale. I want real stuff by the pail.
Welcome to the SpeakUNeazy, a safe space where cancel culture does not exist because we are in a different Prohibition era.
Good evening and welcome to another amateur episode of the SpeakUNeazy with me, the bartender. Tonight's random read is going to come off of the book of Jeremiah, chapter 38, verses 7 through verse 9. Ebed Melech's plea for Jeremiah's life. Now when Ebed Melech, the Ethiopian, one of the eunuchs which was in the king's house, heard that they had just put Jeremiah in the dungeon, the king then sitting in the gate of Benjamin, Ebed Melech went forth out of the king's house and spake to the king, saying, My lord the king, these men have done evil in all that they have done to Jeremiah the prophet, whom they have cast into the dungeon. And he is like to die for hunger in the place where he is, for there is no more bread in the city. Once again, this random read comes from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 38, verses 7 through 9. Ebed Melech's plea for Jeremiah's life. Hold on for a minute. I gotta fix this mic. It's humming. It's bugging me. Give me a minute. Give me a second. I've been having issues with this mic since the beginning of the stream. Not only that, but I was having issues in the beginning, as you guys saw, the amateur move that I did there. But hey, nonetheless, the show goes on whether amateur moves are made or not. So here's a little thought that I had reading this random read, because I picked a random. I always do this on my daily prayers in the morning, and when I picked this random read, I started thinking that, okay, as time comes closer to where God's return is coming, when God's return is coming, more people who follow God and Christ and his son Jesus are going to be persecuted big time, right? We're going to be persecuted big time. And it made me think too that when we're persecuted, we'll be put in like gulags or whatever the case may be. I started thinking too, because at the end of the read, it started saying that Jeremiah was put in a place with no, and he was put in a place like a prison, right? And also, I guess that kingdom had no food outside in the city. Well, then I started thinking like, the supply chain of things here in this country it's not being reported that we're getting shortage of a lot of things here. So, this is just me thinking biblical prophecy stuff. So we're getting really close. I believe we're getting really close to the point where Christ followers like myself are going to be persecuted big time, and we're going to be facing like low on supply stuff when we, in the stores and stuff. So it was just a thought. It was just a thought that crossed my mind. I'm not trying to spread any fear or anything, but hey, a lot of things that have been stated in the Bible have already come or is coming, or there are signs of it even being close. So that's just me thinking. Anyhow, let me greet my people up in the bar today. DJ Chrisu, half a day. Hey, thank you for coming by, brother. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to see you here, man. I haven't seen you. I didn't see you last week, or not last week, but last show rather. I'm glad you're here today. Whiskey Blue, what's going on, my friend? All day, every day. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And of course, I got my fam out here, Kiss. Thank you so much for being here on a consistent basis. You and Whiskey Blue, thank you so much. It's very comforting to me to see such family come by. The usual names, it always sparks a big smile to my face. It really does. Okay, so check this out. For today's cocktail, we're going to be making a cocktail called Monkey's Paws. Monkey's Paws. Let me see what I got here for the history of the cocktail, because I did pull up a history. So apparently, as far as the history of the cocktail goes, let me just change up the setup here for the bar real quick so I don't bore you guys with the constant approaching of the bar. Take that out there. Here we go. Okay, so I did not find any history on the actual cocktail, but I found how the cocktail got its name. Okay, so apparently the Monkey's Paws is it's a horror short story. Okay, and I got this off of Wikipedia, so I'm gonna read this. It says The Monkey's Paws is a horror short story by author W. W. Jacobs, first published in England in the collection The Lady of the Barge in 1902. In the story, 3 wishes are granted to the owner of the monkey's paw, but the wishes come with an enormous price for interfering with fate. Ooh, that's not good. It has been adapted many times in other media, including plays, films, TV series, operas, stories, and comics, as early as 1903. It was first adapted to the film in 1915 as a British silent film directed by Sidney Northcote. The film, now lost, starred John Lawson, who also played the main character in Lewis and Parker's 1907 stage play. Now, the Wikipedia page has actually, you know what? I'll read the plot. I'll read the plot of the story. I guess, just to make it more interesting as to how the cocktail came to be. Even though I don't think this has anything to do with the cocktail. The short story involves Mr. and Mrs. White, of all names to pick, and their adult son, Herbert, Sergeant Major Morris, a friend who served with the British Army in India, comes by for dinner and introduces them to a mummified monkey's paw. An old fakir placed a spell on the paw so that it would grant 3 wishes, but only with hellish consequences as punishment for tampering with fate. Morris, having had a horrible experience using the paw, throws it into the fire, but is skeptical that Mr. White but is skeptical, Mr. White retrieves it. Before leaving, Morris and Mr. White of what might Morris warns Mr. White of what might happen should he use the paw. Mr. White hesitates at first, believing that he already has everything he wants. At Herbert's suggestion, Mr. White flippantly wishes for 200 pounds, around 6,000 pounds today, which will enable him to make his final mortgage payment for his house. When he makes his wish, Mr. White suddenly drops the paw in surprise, claiming that it moved and twists like a snake. The next day, Herbert leaves for work at a local factory. That night, an employee arrives at the Whites' home telling them that Herbert had been killed in a terrible machine accident that mutilated his body. The company denies any responsibility for the incident, but makes a goodwill payment to the family of the deceased. Oh my goodness, what? The payment is 200 pounds, the amount Mr. White had wished for. Wow. That is a trip. A week after the funeral, Mrs. White, furious with grief, insists that her husband use the paw to wish Herbert back to life. Reluctantly, he does so, despite great unease at the thought of summoning his son's mutilated and decomposing body. An hour or so later, the cemetery being 2 miles away, there is a knock at the door. Oh, dude, this is giving me chills already, man. As Mrs. White fumbles at the locks in the desperate attempt to open the door, Mr. White becomes terrified and fears the thing outside is not the son he loved. He makes his third and final wish that the knocking would stop. It stops. Suddenly, he and Mrs. White open the door to find no one is there. So that's pretty much the plot of the story. Okay. I mean, this is a pretty good lesson, right? This is a pretty good lesson for people. Just be thankful for what you got. Be thankful for what you've got. It doesn't, even if you don't have that much, man, this is scary. It really is, because what you want may mess with fate, and it's definitely going to change stuff. Kind of like the, I don't know, Mandela effect of what's going on with all this shit around the world. Anyhow, let's go back to the bar here. Or I know you guys are at the bar, but let me go back to the bar because I was reading that. All right, let's go ahead and start making this bad boy. Monkey's paw. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Collins glass and we're going to chill the glass. So I got some ice in a Collins glass. Let me put some ice up in this thing. Now let me go ahead and start chilling the glass. So we're going to highball this drink. If you guys are not familiar with the terminology for mixology, highballing a drink is pretty much building the drink in the glass. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with using 1.5 ounces of rum, dark rum. It calls for Jamaican rum, but I don't have any Jamaican rum. The rum that I'm using tonight is a slow-aged 7-year dark rum by Florida Caña. Where's it from? It's from Nicaragua. All right. So now I'm pouring the first ounce here. Next will be 1/2 ounce. So we got 1.5 ounces of dark rum. Next we're going to do is we're going to add 3 ounces of pineapple juice. 3 ounces of pineapple juice. I got me some organic pineapple juice. Not that it matters if you're drinking alcohol, if it's organic or not, because either way you're drinking, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay. 1 ounce. 2 ounce. 3 ounces. And I'm spilling my coconut pineapple juice. All right, we're gonna top this thing off with soda water, and I'm using Club Soda Fever Tree. All right. I'm kind of excited to try this drink out. Give this a little bit of a stir. Okay. All right. Now, I guess we're going to go for the taste. That is good. That's good. Yes, that's good. You don't really taste the rum, but I can see how this drink can creep up on you. This drink can creep up on you. It's good. You get more of the pineapple, and definitely the soda water. But it gives it like a soda, more of a soda, kind of a soda feel. But definitely, you taste a lot of the pineapple juice. I wish I can use fresh squeezed pineapple juice, but this is a pretty damn good drink. Here's to the monkey's paw. Cheers, everybody. All right, let me go back to the chats here and see what's going on. Right. Sea Dragon, good evening, my friend. Got your messages, and I hope all is well for you, man. I'm assuming they put you on some antibods. So I will definitely, I've been praying for you, and I'll definitely keep you in prayers, because that sucks, man. That really does suck, and I hope everything is well with you, as well as can be, I guess. Sea Dragon says, I am here for a few minutes. My cat needs to see the vet. Okay. All right, my friend. Whiskey Blue says, ice and snowstorm here. Got sent home from work 4 hours early. No work tomorrow either. Want to help shovel me out, buddy? I'm going to have to deal with my own weather problems here, as we're going to be hit with a snowstorm in a few hours over here as well. So I don't know to the degree how bad this is going to be. I don't want it to be like last year, because last year was bad. And last year made me realize that, I'm not a fan of snow. I'm not a fan of cold weather. Hell no. So, that's definitely, I'm sorry. I would love to help you, but I have my own weather problems to deal with here as well. But hey, you're home early and you have no work tomorrow. I guess, according to a clock, you don't. Now, as far as manual labor for home, you probably do have some work. DJ Cruz says, can I get a shout out to Kevin who is listening? Well, shout out to you too, Kevin. And I know who you are. Another good friend of mine, Kevin. I'm glad that you're tuned in this evening, or this afternoon, I would say, in your part of the world. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Kiss, thank you so much for dropping the link. Whiskey Blue, well, I like Jamaican rum, and I like pineapple juice, so sounds like a winner. It is a winner. It is a winner, my friend. It's good. It's really good. Sea Dragon says painkiller, antibodies, and B12. And the cat wants to be sick today. Oh, man. Don't you hate it when it just all happens that way? That sucks. That really sucks. But hey, you continue to do what you got to do, my friend. I got you in the spirit world. I got you spiritually. Wish I can give you more advice and stuff, but I'm not too privy about natural medicine. But you know, my prayers are definitely with you. My prayers are definitely with you, and I don't say that in just the saying. You know, people like to say thoughts and prayers. I don't. Like, I got you. I got you in the spirit world for real, for real. Sub Pack, what's going on, buddy? It's been a while. It's been a while. Thank you for coming around. Just made my cocktail tonight called the Monkey's Paw, or the Monkey's Paws, I should say. Thank you for coming by. Whiskey Blue's laughing because he knows that I got my own weather issues to hash out. I don't even know how bad it's going to be, to be honest. My wife started washing for our clothes. She started washing everything today because she's not sure if the power or water is going to go out. Because the last time this happened, we lost both power and water. So that's how bad it was. I mean, I've been through that kind of stuff before. From a typhoon when I was growing up back in the islands. So we know how to prepare, but yeah, going through it does suck. It does suck. So there's the chat. I am all caught up. And let's see. Oh, look at that. Look at that. What a beauty. Expressing the oils. Somebody was asking me before, what kind of drink is that? I would assume that this drink right here would be an old-fashioned, because just based on the color, it looks like whiskey. And then usually on an old-fashioned, they would express the orange peel oils on the cocktail. So that probably would be an old-fashioned if I had to guess. Anyways, let's go ahead and start this off tonight with the ridiculousness of what people perceive as or what these news outlets perceive as news, and let's review them together. Let us review all this together. Let me just find the first article for the night. Oh, and by the way, we are streaming. We are streaming in all platforms tonight. We are on Twitch, Foxhole. Looks like I have somebody on Facebook Live. I am on Twitter Live, and I am on YouTube Live. So it looks like my Twitch channel has 1. My Facebook Live has 1. Every other YouTube has the big O, and Twitter Live has the big O. Anyhow, it don't matter. The bar is still open. The show continues on. But shouts out to the Twitter listener, or not the Twitter listener, but the Twitch listener. I wonder who I got out there in Twitch. I almost said Twitter. I meant Twitch. Let me see who's out in Twitch first so I can greet them. Because the bartender doesn't want to be stuck up around here. The bartender likes to greet everybody. So let's see who we have. Looks like we have a guy called Action Shin. Well, thank you for coming by, Action Shin. And hope you enjoy today's show. Hope you enjoy today's show. And as for Facebook Live, let me see who I have live here real quick so I can say hello. Yeah, this thing is it's taking its time loading. Give me a minute, guys. It doesn't say. It doesn't say. Anyhow, nonetheless. Oh, okay. I know who it is. I don't know if you want me to mention who you are, but Thank you for being there. Thank you so much. I really miss a lot of your company at the other place. But anyhow, thank you. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Okay. Anyhow, let's go ahead and start this whole thing, right? Let me take you guys to the article real quick. Give me a minute here so I can pull it up. Here we go. Here's the first article for the night. Comes from my go-to for ridiculous stuff called stupid.news. Article was written on the 27th of last month, written by Ethan Huff. I'm assuming they got this from the Huffington Post. That's just my assumption. Sorry, had to take a swig. This thing's darn good. Insanity. Unvictored people in Quebec now assigned chaperones at big box stores to ensure they don't buy non-essential items. This is punishment for refusing to take the jab. Dude, are you freaking kidding me? Where am I? Do I have any Canadians here? Do I have any Canadians that live up in Quebec who can actually verify this? Oh boy. Anyhow. Oh gosh. Here we go. In order to enter big box stores like Walmart and Costco, dude, if these companies are actually making this happen, that's a darn shame. Residents of Quebec can now have to show proof of Wuhan Charlie Victor 19 vaccination, I should say Victor, or else be chaperoned around the store by an employee to ensure they only purchase food. Okay, so shame on the employee that's doing this as their job. It's almost as ridiculous as a cop who enforces these stupid rules with the muzzles. Like, if it came down to it, if I was still a sheriff's deputy, and we were ordered to enforce rules about muzzle wearing, I would be like, hell no, dude. I ain't enforcing that. That's stupid. No. Now, shame on the employees that enforce this stuff. Are they that hard up with money? Are they really going to choose are they really going to choose money over what's right? I don't know. And that's part of being tested nowadays. That's part of being tested. Like, that it's coming down to the nitty-gritty when we're being tested, whether we would choose what's right or, quote, necessities. We got to stand together, guys. We really do. Like, we can't let this kind of stuff happen. If one of us fall, we all fall. But, if one of us stand, we all stand. CBS News reports that the unvictored in Quebec are now restricted to buying only things like milk and bread when they hit up the IKEA food court, for instance. All of that Swedish furniture, however, will be off limits to them. Well, who wants to buy the piece of ish anyway? IKEA furniture don't even last long. Today, big box stores that have a footprint of 1,500 square meters, or more, are going to have to ask customers to show proof of Victor. And you guys know what I'm referring to when I say Victor, okay? Because I'm on other platforms, I kind of have to watch what I say. I'm just saying. The CBC reporter explains in the segment, now pharmacies and grocery will be exempt from this. So if you're going into a Costco or a Walmart or something like that, where you might be going in to buy groceries or visit the pharmacy, in that case, an employee will have to be with that person as they walk through the store. Are you freaking kidding me? To make sure, are you serious? To make sure that they do not go and buy other products other than items that might be in the store. Dude, what the Seriously, dude, what the This is crazy, man. You know, it's happening to our neighbors up in Canada. What makes you think that it won't come down here? What makes you think it won't come down here? Look who we have as, quote, president, or somebody who's sitting in the office who claims to be president. Look what we have. Do you think he's going to prevent this from happening? As a matter of fact, he's going to allow these kind of things to happen. I'm just, I'm going to continue on. Health Minister Christian Dubé destroying Quebec's economy with jab mandate. Yeah, almost. There's certain words I can say, but there's certain words that I have to remix. Only essential goods can be purchased by the unvictored, in other words. And the government apparently gets to arbitrarily define what essential means to only include the very basics of life. Canada, I feel bad for you guys. I feel bad, but I mean, if this is what you guys voted for, you kind of reap what you sow, And I hate to say things like that, but come on. Come on, Canadians. There are several reasons we're disappointed, said Patrick Delisle, head of marketing for the Quebec hardware chain Canic. First of all, we would have liked to be treated as an essential service. We've been essential since the beginning of the pandemic. Health Minister Christian Dubé, however, does not care about Canic's plight. He would rather punish the unvictored and hurt local businesses in an effort to strong-arm more people into getting injected. Dude. This is painful for me to read. It's painful, We're not going to ask someone who's dealing with water damage in their home if they are victored or not. Delisle added about the lunacy of this new decree. It is lunacy, but this is the kind of world we live in now. Lunacy seems to be very, very normal nowadays. It does. And let me finish this, because there is something that I saw today I was floored. I was so floored. It's really frustrating to have to manage clients living in situations like that. It's not our job, right? In addition to the sheer burden of having to check people's jabs status at the door, not to mention the lost economic activity that results, Canic says that it will cost around $100,000 per week to enforce Dubé's mandate at 31 stores throughout the province. Simon Gagnon, owner of a sports experts franchise in Quebec, added that the current labor shortage will make it a colossal challenge to keep enough security guards on site for enforcement purposes, let alone employees to continue running the stores. Give me a minute. I want to take a swig. What scares us is that instead of lining up, people will go shop somewhere else. Gagnon says, noting that Dubé's mandate creates unfair competition between larger retailers and deep pockets and smaller stores that do not have the means to enforce the new rules. We're just the messenger. It's not us who decides to do it, Delisle says. We're getting a lot of messages from people on social media pouring their hearts out, to put it politely. The construction industry, which had hoped for an exemption, is also suffering from the lack of workers due to their having to be injected in order to receive a paycheck. And it's coming down to that. It honestly is. It is. Wuhan Charlie Victor 19, tyranny is spreading like a virus in Canada and elsewhere. To keep up with the latest, visit that website right there. This is nuts, man. Let's go back to the bar. Okay. Let me go back to the... hold on. Let me just set up the next... okay? What an opener, dude. What an opener for tonight's show. Okay. Let me join you guys in the bar right now. Okay. Let me go to the chats real quick, and then from there let's discuss what I just read. Kiss, thank you so much for dropping the merch store link. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you also for pushing the subs on Twitch. Thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, you don't have to sub, you can just follow, but cuz I know subs are you got to pay them, but if you have Amazon Prime, you can use that to get a free sub. But I don't know what I can offer you guys on Twitch right now. I'm pretty sure I can offer something down the line. I still have to think about that, but thank you so much for that push, Kiss. Thank you. DJ Chris says, I have ancestors from Quebec. Oh, so you're part Canadian, eh? My cousins that still live in Quebec are totally against these mandates. I mean, I would hope so, because, I mean, if they're of the same blood as you, I would hope that they have the same reasoning as you do. Kiss, thank you so much for the cookie. Thank you. Whiskey Blue says, Brandon is not our president. He was installed like a... You see how I couldn't finish that sentence because I saw that word and I started cracking up? Oh, beautiful, my friend. Oh my gosh. That's a good one, Whiskey. That's a good one. Now, for you listeners who are out on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, or even Twitch, when I refer to a lot of people here, my hub is usually on pill.net and foxhole.app. And I'm on the chat room with the listeners here because this is where most of my listeners are. Feel free to come by. It's free to sign up too. Like, you don't have to pay anything to sign up. And if you like freedom and all this stuff, you got to check this place out because it's full of content creators who have the same goal in mind, is for freedom, keep freedom for this country. So please do so if you'd like. DJ Kurisu says, how's about that, eh? Man. Okay. So back to something I wanted. There was an observation that I made today. Today I had to do some errands outside today. And if you're not in Texas, or if you don't know what's going on, it's freaking raining. It's raining real bad. And we're going to be experiencing a snowstorm here in a few hours, at least where I'm at, Central Texas. But I think the rest of the rest of the state's gonna deal with that cold winter snowstorm as well. But I don't know how bad. But for here, like, I mean, when I looked at the app for weather, it didn't look too good. It didn't look too good. Anyhow, so here I am. I go to Costco, right? Because I have to gas up. I go to Costco, I gas my car up, and I'm leaving. And as I'm driving away, I drive towards the entrance, the actual entrance of Costco, not the entrance of the gas pumps, but I made the circle out to go towards. I'm driving towards the entrance of Costco so I can make my exit. I took to make my exit out of the area. So here I am driving past the entrance of Costco, and I see the Costco employee. I mean, it's raining. Okay, it's raining. And here's what I didn't understand. Okay? Here's what I didn't understand. Like, I was driving away, but as I was driving away from Costco, I saw the Costco employee who was collecting carts. He was all covered up because it's raining, but at the same time, I saw him or her with a stupid muzzle on. I said to myself, dude, like, if your muzzle gets wet, because it was one of those paper muzzles, I said to myself, dude, why the hell do they still have that paper muzzle on when it's going to get wet and it'll be useless? Even by common sense thinking, like, it'll be completely useless. Why? And that just blew my mind. And that's when it started settling in my brain. Like, wow, we're doomed, because a lot of people are just like that person. A lot. At least in the area that I live in, a lot. Because mind you, you got to remember, I'm in the Austin, Texas area, okay? I'm not in Austin per se, but I'm very dang close to Austin, and it's still part of Austin, if that makes any sense. So I said to myself, we're doomed. We're doomed. Because if people can't think for themselves at this point, after freaking 2 years going on year number 3, if they haven't figured this thing out yet, then, as a whole, we're doomed. I mean, of course, there's going to be some of us who are still around that are smart enough to get it, to survive and all that. But if you got them, yeah. I mean, but I don't get it. I don't get it. I do not get it. And it's not so much that I was pissed off. It was more like, wow, I can't believe I'm surrounded. I'm surrounded. I mean, are we living in apocalyptic times already where there are actual zombies? Because these people are definitely zombies at this point. If they haven't figured it out, I'm sorry, but they're zombies. And that's just me saying that, because it's, what more proof do you need to be shown that this whole thing is BS? And look, I've gotten to Charlie Victor 19. It sucks, but I lived. Okay? Like, would it kill you? Anything can kill you. Even slipping on the floor, and if you hit your head on the ground, could kill you. Anything can kill you, but is it as deadly as, like, I don't think so. If you had pre-existing conditions, or if you were older, then I can understand it, but it ain't gonna, at least for me, it didn't. Okay? It didn't kill my wife either. It didn't kill my son, because all 3 of us had it. All right. DJ Chris is asking me to send him some pictures of the snow. I hope we don't get any, man. To be honest, I don't want any snow, dude. But if I happen to see some, I'll take a picture. I'll send it to you. Whiskey Blue says we can't save them all. Yeah, tell me about it, man. Tell me. I mean, who am I going to rely on if I need some help when shit does hit the fan? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Oh, my goodness. That's right. Yeah, even you did. Even you did, didn't you, DJ Kurisu? I mean, it sucked, but dude, we survived it. You know? I don't know, man. And you know, you can probably hear me bang on this desk of frustration, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys out there are frustrated with this whole thing too. Cause it's been 2 years, man. It's been 2 years since they've been pulling this ish on us, and yet there's still people out there who are brainwashed into thinking that this is all real. Oh, yes, it is real. I'll give it that. It is real. I mean, there is a virus out there. But is it going to freaking like do what they say it's going to do? Possibly. But what are the percentages of that? I don't think it's high. I don't think the percentage of it is high. I mean, I survived it. My wife survived. So did my son. We survived it. You know? I don't know, man. I really don't know. Whiskey says, there are the useless eaters. Only the strong will survive. Yeah, it's true. But what happens when you survive and there's a task that you need to do that you can't do by yourself? Like, who are you going to rely on, man? That's the issue right there. Like, where can I find other good people like me that could probably help me with this? That's where I'm getting at, as far as like, because I know that not a lot of us are going to be survivors here, but dang, for the survivors, I hope that there's other survivors like close by with some kind of sense to like help out in certain tasks that need more than one person. I'm just saying. Whiskey said he'd had it twice and he's still surviving. Go figure that one out, huh? DJ Cruiser says it sucked. I'm still a little congested. It lasts for a little bit. It does. It lasts for a little bit, but you know that you're well from it. But there still remains of it, for sure. I'm sorry. I got a text message in the middle of that. I know, so unprofessional. I'm sorry. Yeah, it does suck because it still sticks around. It just lingers a little bit. The symptoms do linger just a bit, and you feel weak. Cause when I got it, I got hit hard. I was the hardest hit out of the three of us. I was the hardest hit. I took I was suffering the most out of three of us. But I was still able to, like, I even tried to do a show right when I started getting better, I guess you can say. But I was weak. I couldn't even talk. And that, you know, it kicks your ass, but you survive from it. And you build an you build an immunity from it. But now that they have these other brands of Charlie Victor, I guess when you get the different strands, you just build immune system for that too. All right. Whiskey says there were less deaths. Oh, thank you for the can, DJ Kurisu, by the way. Thank you so much. Here is to the Wuhan. Thank you. You know what? I'm going to drink to that. Cheers, brother. Kampai, DJ Kurisu. All right. Whiskey says there were less deaths this year than last. Never hear that on MSM. Well, I wonder why. I wonder why you never hear that kind of stuff. Maybe because it doesn't fit the agenda of what they're trying to do. Hello, Daisy Girly. First time I seen you around. Thank you for coming to the bar. She says I had it 3 times. The last one was real bad. But you survived it. You survived it. And that's the key to it. You survived it. Because I got it real bad. And I have to say, I probably got it before it became a thing 2 years ago. I got the same symptoms and I got a bad fever back in, I want to say 2019, November of 2019. I got the same symptoms and I was out for about a week or two. So, I'm sorry. Hold on, guys. Give me a minute here. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. I had the same symptoms. I was down for about a week and a half-ish, about 10 days. About 10 days. And this was before it even came out on the news and became a thing. So I think I've had it twice too. But I survived. I survived the whole thing. Not to mention, prior to October of last year, I was traveling a lot. I was traveling back and forth every freaking week between Texas and California because of work. So you want to talk about being exposed, and like I did my best not to wear the muzzle. I did my best not to wear a muzzle. So I was definitely open for getting the Charlie Victor, and it's what's the word I'm looking for here? It's ironic. It's ironic that I caught the Charlie Victor in November of last year, and I wasn't even traveling around anymore. So I was exposed in the air. I was in the airport in an airplane. Like that's one of the places where there's a lot of people, and I would just say it's a hub of places to get any kind of virus, right? An airplane, especially in an airplane. Jeez, man. Like, you're in an enclosed area. You want to talk about social distance. These people in the airplane had the nerve to say, make sure you're social distance. Well, hey, idiot. Like, how do we do that inside an airplane? How? How do you do that? Please explain to me. How do you social distance in an airplane? How? Tell me. And I was sitting in the airplane, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I wanted to like shout it out, like, hey, idiot, how do we do that? We're in an airplane. Like, the flight's full. Like, how do we do that? Please tell me. Please share that knowledge with me, because I don't know. Oh, gosh. I'm on a rant, man. I had to kick this story off with this stupid thing, and I can so see it coming. I can see now. Will people abide by it? I would hope not. I would hope that a lot of people here would say F you, but to be honest, man, just based on me when I was flying back and forth for work between Texas and California, a lot of people they're just gonna go along to get along. They're so apathetic. Like, they're very, like, people don't, they when they know that there's something wrong, they're not gonna say anything, or they're not gonna stand up for anything. The majority of people, they won't, and it's sad. It's very sad. I also remember there was one day that I had a layover in Vegas when I was coming from Texas. I was supposed to fly to California. I had a layover in Vegas, right? And I was drinking coffee. And there's this lady, and I'm going to say it's Southwest because it was a lady who works for Southwest. And Southwest was the airline that I took because I have like mileage and all that stuff with them. And now that it doesn't matter because I have so much mileage, but how am I going to spend it? Anyhow, this lady who worked in Southwest had the tenacity to tell me, you need to put your muzzle on in between sips. I said, what? I said, no, I ain't going to do that. And, she's just giving me this attitude. So, I had to go to work. I don't want to be stuck in Las Vegas. So I slid my muzzle up, and as soon as she left, I slid it back down. So, did I surrender a little bit? I kind of did, but, looking back, like, I should have told that lady to F off, dude. I really should have. Okay, man, I'm all heated up. I'm all heated up, man. Let's see. Whiskey says, have you ever read The Stand by Stephen King? You should definitely check it out. I've heard about the story of The Stand. I haven't read the book or seen the movie, but I have heard about what the story is kind of about. Daisy Girly says, "Amen, I did." Daisy also, I'm sorry. DJ Crucis says, "Daisy 3 times. That's crazy." Yeah, it's because it's different strains, dude. They're throwing out like different kinds of strands of this stupid thing. They are, and you know, I'm assuming that you're not, you don't have the Victor, and now that your immune system is stronger for it now. So I'm assuming that you didn't get Victored. I'm all heated up, guys. I'm all heated up because of this thing. Because it's getting ridiculous. It's getting out of hand. The whole thing with this whole Victor, this whole Charlie Victor one, it's getting out of freaking hand. And people are still buying into it. And it's been 2 years going on 3. So I'm heated. DJ Chris says, "I think my wife got it back in January of 2020 when we were in the Philippines. She had the same symptoms as when she was sick last week." Oh, so both of you got it? Whew, but I'm you guys are now naturally immune to it now. Daisy Girly says, "Exactly." Whiskey Blue says, "I got it first time before it was announced too. That was worse than the last time." Actually, my second time was worse. The first time I got it, it was shitty too, but I have to say that it didn't get me as down as this last one did. And that sucked. It was on freaking Thanksgiving week. My own son cooked for my wife and I. And we couldn't eat because we didn't have the appetite to eat, and it was very sweet of him to cook. I felt really bad, like we had to waste the food because we couldn't eat it. So, Rapture Ready in the house. Hey, welcome to the bar. Welcome to the bar, my friend. It's really nice to see you. Pick your battles. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I kind of do. We all have to pick our battles. We do. There's nothing wrong with that. There is really nothing wrong with that. Sometimes an actual battle is worth going all in for, rather than just a little petty scuffle, I guess you can say. Figuratively speaking. Okay? Wow, I'm using all sorts of words today. Whiskey says beep beep beep. I'm censoring your rap, bartender. Carry on. I tell you, man. I can. Yeah, my wife always tells me, you're too loud. You're too loud. You're too loud. You're too loud. I'm like, I'm not loud. I'm just passionate. Daisy Girly says, "I had the Victor at Christmas. Was down for 2 weeks." It sucks when you have it in the holidays because those are the times that you want to share with your family. And trust me, man, I know the shitty feeling. It is. And like I said, I felt bad that my son, he made us a nice steak. Like, he cooked steaks for us, like ribeyes, my favorite cut, but I couldn't eat it. Neither could my wife, because we just didn't have the appetite for it. And I felt bad, not only for him, where he was spending all this time to prepare it, but also we had to waste a whole bunch of food because we just didn't have the appetite to eat. West of the West, thank you for coming in the bar. Good evening to you. The second time for me was everybody's coming out was saying that they've had it. So if you're coming out saying it, that means you've survived it, And it sucks to go through it. It really does. But I mean, if you're a quote healthy person, you'll live. It's not a big deal. Pox, measles, dude, you'll live. You get it, and then you move on. But they make it seem like, oh, oh, you're gonna get all this, and and some people even think that if they test positive, that they think that their life is over already. I've seen people like react like, oh my gosh, I'm tested positive. Like, dude, what's the big deal? Why are you making it seem like you got a death sentence? Like, you don't have a death sentence, dude. You're fine. Hold on, guys. Just give me 1 minute here. I'm sorry. DJ stuff, texting. Let's see. Whiskey Blue says Christmas through New Year's for me. Blah. Yeah, apparently we were lucky enough to enjoy our Christmas and New Year's, but we were down for the, the whole week of Thanksgiving and the whole week after that. So, Coco Scott, hey, Lurkin fam, armored up. Absolutely. Hey, and thank you so much for even being around. I wonder if you were the one who was on the other place. I don't know. Thank you so much, though. Thank you so much for the cookie. But most of all, thank you for your presence. It's people's names that I see in the chats that make me feel happy. That's my reward when people are here on a consistent basis to come hang out with the bartender, It really is. By the way, cheers once again. I'm on a roll tonight, guys. I haven't even started the second article, but this first one just got me all heated up because it sparked a lot of things in my brain that used to get me upset, and I kind of forgot about it, but now I read it, I'm like, oh. Anyhow, Whiskey Blue says, I blame my Vax aunt who had it but was feeling better and stopped by with trays of her COVID cookies all over us, for all of us. Well, I mean, you blame who you want to. As far as I'm concerned, I think the reason why we got it was, we probably, because it was my wife who got it first. And we don't go out much, but when we do, we usually just go to the grocery stores. So I'm assuming that my wife got it touching something in the grocery store and brought it back home. My daughter doesn't go to a conventional school. She's homeschooled, so she's home here all the time. So it wasn't through her. It had to have been when, we went out grocery shopping, and, it's just a matter of time that everybody's going to get it. It doesn't matter if you're victored or not. You're going to get it, and I'm pretty sure you feel a lot more stupid after getting victored and then having to catch the freaking actual Charlie Victor itself. I mean, what do those people think after they got victored? They think that they're protected? No, you still get sick. Oh gosh, man, I don't know. It's just I don't know what to think about this whole thing anymore. Sometimes I feel like these people are really making me feel like I'm smart or something. And I don't want to be thinking that way. I shouldn't be thinking that way. I should be freaking praying for these people. I should. As a good human being who really believes in lifting up other people, I should be praying for other people. But I have to admit, the human part of my brain just it's hard for me to even I don't know, it's difficult. And maybe I need to do more of that. I need to start praying to lift these people up as far as their thinking process goes. I have to, instead of having to get mad at these, because I don't want to be falling into the whole thing where it's divisiveness. I've always been a proponent in picking up people who need the picking up, and I always end the show that way. So I actually need to start doing that. I do, and I'm beginning to realize this as I'm talking. you know? And I think a lot of us have to as well. You know, I mean, if we can't lift them up in a way where we can talk to them because they're just hard to talk to, then in our private lives, then we have to send prayers to them, because they need to be lifted up. And if we can't lift it up, if we can't at least try to get them to look up things for themselves, we can at least pray for them. And at least God sees that and says, okay, I can see that you're at least trying to pick these people up spiritually. So that's good in his book, you know? So yeah, I'm realizing this as I talk, because I'm heated up, but at the same time I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, how does that make me a better person if I'm talking bad about these people? Like if I know that they need some kind of help, then I got to help them out. And if the only way I can help them out is through prayer, then that's all I can do. So let's see. Coco Scott says, yeah, that's me there too. Laugh out loud. Just perched, but watching Unpilled through, though. Laugh out loud. Okay, cool. Subpack says, Philly said, hi, Mr. Speak. Well, you tell Philly I said hi as well. You know, she's always welcome to come back here. I never kicked her out to begin with. You know, she just kind of didn't want to come back. I'm always good with respectful conversations, but that's the key word, respectful. You know, she's always welcome to come by and hang out in the bar. DJ Crucis says, yes, we're all going to get, yeah, it's just a matter of time, dude. It's just a matter of freaking time. And I don't understand this whole fear thing that you're going to do all you can to prevent getting it. Dude, you're going to get it. If if you're really that concerned, then wear one of those freaking hazmat suits or a space suit. I don't know. Think about that movie Boy in the Bubble, man. Like, come on, dude. If you're out there, you're going to get exposed to it. So take that as reality, you know? You'll live. If you're healthy, if you don't have any pre-existing stuff, you'll live. I'm just saying, dude. DJ Cruz says, I got the jab and I still got sick and I still spread it. Laugh out. Yeah, I know, huh? Oh, gosh. Coco says, 12 months natural victory from Charlie. Laugh out loud. My house is clear. Look at that. See that? Me too. Victory naturally. This household naturally defeated Charlie Victor. We did. We lived. We survived it. West of the West says, yeah, we all will get it at this point. Yes, protect those we can who need protecting, but all will come around to this, and we can turn cheek. Yeah, no, I'm beginning to realize that. Turn the other cheek. Plus, we should always be ready to welcome someone in who asks for forgiveness, help, even just to talk. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm always open to that. I am so open to that. But the thing that gets to me is that when you try to talk to some people out there, and I'm not saying all of them, they're just adamant about what they think they know. You know? A little bit of research goes a long way. It does. And you don't even have to give them the whole freaking enchilada. You just give them, say, hey, you know, I heard about this, and that on this right here. Tell me what you think. And then, you know, at least it plants a seed of being like, you know, after reading it, they'll be like, maybe I should look more into it. So yeah, no, I'm all for picking everybody up. I always have been. And I have to change the way that these people are. I mean, do they make me laugh sometimes because their actions are just ridiculous to me? Absolutely. And I know you guys are probably laughing at some people out there too that just go overboard with the whole thing. But I think I got to start feeling bad for them and saying a prayer for them so that some kind of thing will click in their head saying this doesn't make sense. So, I'm all for picking up people and I'm beginning to realize that right now as I speak. So I definitely have to start showing more I guess empathy for them because of their thinking. Definitely, I would start doing prayers for them to to make logic work. Let's see here. Coco says, "Boy in the Bubble, John Travolta, good movie." Yeah, it is, but not such a good situation for the movie. You know what I'm saying? West of the West says, "I have had pneumonia 6 times and survived Charlie twice already. Can you survive it even if you're not perfectly healthy?" Well, if you've had pneumonia 6 times and survived Charlie twice, I would say if you have that will to survive, yes, absolutely. But I don't give any medical advice. But I'm just saying through my experience, I've survived it. It was bad. It was real bad. It was so bad. Like the first show I did when I was getting quote better, I couldn't even talk. I couldn't even do the whole show. I couldn't. I had to cut the show short because I just couldn't talk. But that's just the way it is. Whiskey Blue says nobody wants to admit they were fooled. That's correct. That's true. But there's a lot of pride involved in that. If you are humble enough to know that you don't know everything, hold on, let me take a swig. If you're humble enough to know that you don't know everything, it's more easier for you to accept that you've been wrong, that you were wrong. The problem is a lot of people are very prideful about their quote knowledge or education, and they don't want to admit that they were fooled. Pride, that's one thing that will really, really get you real bad. And I've learned that. I've learned that the hard way. I've definitely learned being prideful the hard way. Not to mention training martial arts too kind of brings you down. It kind of humbles you too. So I think pride is a big problem when it comes to people who don't want to admit that they were fooled. Because look, we're all going to get fooled one way or another. Okay? We're all going to get fooled. And it doesn't matter what it is in life, but we will get fooled. It's just a matter of us saying, okay, I got fooled. I was taken for a ride. And then just make sure it doesn't happen again. Let's see. Hold on for a moment. Hold on. I apologize. I got some DJ stuff coming in, and I try to do this. I try to do this on my own time, but it's blowing up here. Let's see. Coco says, West of the West points out Whiskey Blue's point, which is true. Coco says, fake news put out so much fear mongering daily. We are the positive to their negative. Amen. Absolutely. But, it's a shame that a lot of people are not like us, that kind of figured out that MSM was full of ish. And, like I said before, it's been 2 years. We're going on year number 3. And if people haven't figured it out by now, I don't think they ever will, And I'm not saying that they're bad, but I'm just saying that since we can't help them, we got to pray for them, That's all I'm saying. Whiskey Blue says, "You're a good man, Charlie Brown." West of the West says, "It was a statement that you can survive it if you are not healthy." Absolutely, you could. You could. You're proof of that. Coco says, "True whiskey and right on speak. If we humble ourselves and let go of pride and ego, what peace we have in the middle of the storm." Absolutely. You know, and look, I'm speaking as a person who observes, okay? Because especially with us Americans, we as Americans, we're prideful. We're very prideful for good reason. We're very prideful for good reason. But sometimes that pride oversteps. It oversteps. And it's hard for us to kind of reel it back in. There's a time to be prideful and there's a time to be very, very humble, you know? Especially with facts, right? Or facts or any kind of knowledge. People tend to get into these heated argument stuff, right? And when it comes down to it, it's pride. It's pride. I've always said from the get-go, like, I don't know everything, and I'm always going to be a student of everything, okay? That's me, because I have enough in me to say that, dude, I don't know a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm willing to listen to all sorts of angles in order for me to understand where they're coming from. I may not agree with them, but I'm not going to let my pride overtake that and challenge them. Like, if that's what they want to believe, then okay, that's fine. And I hope that the other person that I'm talking to would understand where I'm coming from and have the same, humble feeling and be like, okay, cool. I can understand where, even though I disagree with that person, I can understand where they're coming from. So I think reeling it back in when you need to is a big deal. It really is a big deal. We have to. We just have to. Because if we don't, it's a never-ending battle. It's a never-ending battle, just like West of the West. I think it was West of the West. He says, choose your battles, right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Especially if you guys have the same goal at mine, right? Like, what's the point of all the headbutting and the pride if the goal is the same? I'm just saying. Hey, what's going on, AP? Dude, AP, I haven't seen you in so long. How you been? How have you been, my friend? I'm all heated because we're talking about Charlie Victor. Oh, boy. Okay. I think I've ranted that we need to get to the next article, y'all. We need to get to the next article. So let's go to the next article here. This one's coming out from the New York Post. Article was written on February 2nd of this year. It's by Larry Salona and Mark Lungariello. I don't know if I said that right. Article reads, Brooklyn teacher makes anti-cop post as school holds fundraiser for fallen NYPD officers. Okay, so this is the second story I've heard about these people making these anti-cop rants, especially after this most recent NYPD officer fell. Okay, I have problems with that because I used to be a cop. So I have big problems when people start talking shit about cops, especially if they're good cops, because, if they're doing their job and they're doing the right thing and they're putting their lives out in the line for doing the right thing, then I have problems with that. Anyhow, a New York City prep school teacher was suspended after she tweeted that she was, quote, dressing up during a student's dress down fundraiser for slain NYPD officer Jason Rivera and Wilbert Mora. Now, these are the cops who got ambushed. Laura Lynn Duffy, a math teacher at Fontbonne Hall in Brooklyn made the statement on Twitter Wednesday as students at the private Catholic school had a dress down. Events with proceeds to be donated to the families of those cops killed in the line of duty last month. If anyone was wondering, I am intentionally dressing up today. Hashtag abolition. Hashtag, oh geez. Hashtag Bravo Lima Mike, because I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that actual thing because I'm on other platforms as well. She wrote on the account, which is set to private. Students at the all-girls school usually dress in uniform, but for the dress down, they were allowed to wear blue rather than their uniforms, according to parents. Oops. I am seriously thinking of taking my children out of the school, one parent told the Post. That was a totally insensitive remark and disrespectful to the officer and his family and every police officer that patrols the neighborhood where she works and lives. I mean, didn't these people learn anything from the freaking riots? And the whole defund the police thing? Didn't anybody learn? I mean, I think there are still cities out there that are struggling. They're still struggling. They're still trying to recover. And you still got some funny business going out there with these people filling up their carts and just leaving without paying. You still got these kind of issues. Boy, am I heated today. This is the second thing that's heating me up today. School officials announced that they had launched a probe into the Post. She has been suspended by the school during the investigation, sources said. It has come to the attention of the administration of Fontbonne Hall that one of our teachers tweeted a politically charged statement in regards to today's student-led fundraiser to support or in support of the fallen NYPD officers. A statement posted to social media said. Fontbonne Hall does not endorse the personal comments of this faculty member, and we will continue to advance the mission of the Sisters of Saint Joseph of all-inclusive love, unity, and reconciliation within the Earth community. There's the picture of the slain officer, man. You know, slain officers, it holds close to my heart. It really does. And if you've never been or even seen a police funeral, it's very heartbreaking because your attention is mostly on the family members that they leave behind. You know? And you got to remember that these people, they've chosen a profession that they don't know if they're going to live or die that day. And people tend to forget that. You know? Rest in peace. Rest well. As a matter of fact, cheers. Cheers to you, fellow Oath Keeper. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families of the fallen officers, and we remain proud of our students for the compassion they showed today. The statement went on. We are conducting an internal investigation of the matter and will share an update when appropriate. Duffy didn't immediately reply to an email from the Post on Wednesday. The comments and fundraiser came the same day mourners gathered in Manhattan at St. Patrick's Cathedral for Mora's funeral. Mora and Rivera were shot on January 21st after responding to a domestic call in Harlem. And you got to understand, people, domestic violence calls are the most dangerous calls that a cop can ever respond to. And the reason for that is because it's very, very unpredictable. It's very unpredictable. If a cop responds to a burglary or a robbery, you already know what to expect, pretty much. You know, you already know what you got. But when you go to a domestic violence, you don't actually know what's going to happen. You don't. It's very unpredictable. So you got to understand that domestic violence calls are the most dangerous for cops. And I'm not saying that facetiously. I'm saying that seriously. Statistics show that. Rivera, 22 years old, man. He's the same age as my son. 22. He wasn't even thinking that he was going to die that day. Rivera, 22, died after the shooting, while Mora, 27, died from his injuries 4 days later. These are still kids, man. These are still young men who haven't even begun their life yet. Last weekend, after Brooklyn teacher caused a firestorm with an Instagram post that appeared to encourage violence against gathered mourners at Rivera's funeral. The story showed hundreds of officers on 5th Avenue outside St. Patrick's Cathedral with the caption, 5:30:20. NYPD SUV drives into a crowd of protesters. Ideal conditions for reciprocity. After backlash, Coney Island prep math teacher Chris Flanagan told the Post his deleted message was misconstrued and he was commenting on the vulnerability of the crowd of cops. Well, that's that story right there, you know. That's that story. Let's go back to the bar. Let me go back to the bar. Let's go pour this whiskey right here for the fallen. All right, let me go back here to the chats and see what goes on here. Wow. Talk about from going high to low. That killed me right there, man. Whiskey Blue says, I thought this was a news program. You're no Mr. Steve. Yeah, I know. But the purpose of this actual show on Wednesdays is not to report. It's not to report news. It's to show you guys, because I'm not reporting. What I'm doing is I'm reading these articles and giving my reaction to them. And we're all reacting to these articles is what we're doing. See, the thing is, we're all sharing an experience here. That's that's why I named it. This is news with a question mark. I'm just saying. Coco says, just think, these people teaching kids. Tell me about it. My son was a product of the public school system. Lucky for him, he had a dad like me that knew what was going on. And I told him, play the game, but don't let the game play you. That's what I told him. I said, you have the responsibility to search the truth on your own. Because what these teachers are going to teach you right now is all BS. They have an agenda, and their agenda is to make you one of them. Now, when it comes to teaching and learning history and all that stuff, like, you know, history, especially history, I told my son, like, you need to search for the truth yourself. You need to. So I'm producing a guy. So I'm teaching my son to be one of those people out there who does their own research before even opening their mouths about saying anything. So, yeah. Yep. Whiskey Blue says, oh yeah, this thing's all blowing up. Hold on for a moment. Okay. We're good. Whiskey Blue says, I'm pretty sure they've been forced to refund the police in most of these cities that have been destroyed. Yeah. You could be right, but honestly, there's still a lot of cities out there that are struggling from all that shit. There's still a lot of cities out there that are struggling. Like, I know you guys have been hearing about all these people who shoplift, who fill the carts up and just walk out without paying. You've heard about those stories, and the punishment is like, okay, so I'll tell you an experience here, okay? I'll tell you an experience here, what I've observed when I was in California. Granted that I was only working in the jails, but it's stuff that I saw, okay? Let me take a swig here. All right. So you got this people committing crimes, right? They're committing crimes. Let's just say shoplifting, for example. So you got these people shoplifting, right? They come into jail. They spend a couple hours in jail, then they're released again because of this whole Charlie Victor thing. And I'm talking about California. California is bad. It's bad. Like, they're kicking criminals out. They're only in there, and not only that, but they have the whole no bail thing because people can't afford to pay for bail. Like, they're letting these people out, man. So they book them in. They go to the jails. They get booked in. They stay there for a couple hours, and then they're released with their court date. So now they're back out on the streets, and they're going to commit the same they're going to commit whatever they commit again. It's because I've seen people come in and out all the time. I've seen regulars come in and out, and I wasn't one of those cops like to tell criminals when they get released, oh, you're going to come back. I was never like that. I always tell them, like, don't ever say. What I do is I tell them, don't say something that you're not sure you can even, if you know you can't keep your word, don't even say that. That's what I would say. But yeah, you get people being arrested. They come in, they stay in the jail for a couple hours for the booking process or whatever, and then they're released again. And what happens? You see them a few days later with the same thing. It's a revolving door. It just never ends. It never ends. It really doesn't. So that's my experience with that, And I've been out in the field too, And it's the same thing. But, you're taking... Okay, here's another thing too. Like, here's what I don't get with cops too. As far as where I worked. So you're putting all this work into, and this is where it becomes where a lot of veteran cops become kind of like burnt out because they put in so much work into a misdemeanor, like a petty ass misdemeanor. And they're on this call for a long time because they have to do the paperwork. They have to investigate the crime. They have to take the person into jail. They have to wait for the paperwork to be done. Then they go back out in the field. But it takes a long time. And now you're taking cops off the streets for some petty ass shit that that this guy's going to get out in another two hours or so. And you're making your city minus a cop. So I don't know. It's just a weird thing. It's just a weird thing, And I'd always question myself, like, I would ask some of my coworkers, like, dude, why are these guys working so hard just for a stupid, for something that you could just give a ticket and just release them out in the field, which would be a lot less work. And you're still in your city. But I guess it goes back to politics, man. It really does. The way some of these cities are run goes back to politics because they want to see the numbers produced by the city cops for that city. They want the stat for that city. It's a whole political thing. And I don't want to get too much into it, I mean, I'm a nobody. I don't know that much, but I just see what I see. Anyhow, Whiskey Blue says, "Did you see that officer's funeral? Have you seen so many? No, that was a huge ass funeral, dude. That was a huge funeral. I've seen a few, but that was a huge funeral. That was huge. And granted, you got to remember that they were young, dude. They were probably like off the academy maybe 2 years, 3 years. They're new. So they're still trying to find their way of how to become a good cop, you know? It's unfortunate. It really is. Those two young men were getting their lives started. They were. The younger one is the same age as my son. I can't imagine that. I'd be pissed, dude. I'd want to go to the person personally that if that happened to my kid, I want to be able to go in that jail cell with him and take care of that myself. You know, if that was me. Whiskey says, "I love giving you crap. It's my sarcastic, smart ass way. Forgive." No, don't worry about it, dude. I get it. Dude, I'm not easily offended, bro. So don't worry about it. Whiskey Blue says, "I think if the cops, the healthcare workers, and others joined the truckers, this crap would be over now." Well, I hate to tell you this, but a lot of cops don't think the same way I do. They don't. Especially the newer generation. They don't have a mind of their own, which is why I'm not a cop anymore, because I think for myself. I'm not one of those type of dudes that, yes, sir, and just take orders just to take orders because that's what I'm ordered to do. Fuck no. I'm not that type of person. That's one of the reasons why I am not a cop anymore, because if there's something I'm going to stand up for, I'm going to fucking stand up for it. I'm going to stand up for it. If it gets me in trouble, fuck it. So well. I'm standing up for what I believe in. You know? So, yeah. It would be nice, but I doubt it, because a lot of them are more worried about their paychecks. They're worried about their paychecks, man. Especially the younger ones. Oh, the younger ones, they're very ambitious. That's an ambitious group right there. And I got to say, I had many reasons to leave. And one of the many reasons was because I was working with so many young ones that were too ambitious, that didn't care about the whole team thing. I'm just saying, because in that line of work, it's all about the team. It's all about like taking care of each other, but nobody, yeah. I don't know what it is. It could be generational. I don't know. But it's just a different breed it's just a different breed now. That's just the way I see it. At least where I worked at. Okay, I'm not talking about every department. I'm talking about my experience and where I worked at, because that's what I've seen. Rapture Ready says, my neighborhood was cop. They said do the small arrest to mess up their drug connections. I mean, yeah, they could say that shit all they want. But what happens if you have, because look, active shooters and all, like the big stuff now, it's more common than it used to be before. And if you're -1, that's -1 cop out of the city when you're out because you want to get that stat of something petty. So no, I get it, but you know, you need to have the cops in the city in order for you to like make sure that everything is good, you know? So I get it. I definitely get it. Coco says, I was listening to something today. A lot of cops and judges serve two masters, can't have both. Boy, would I like to say a lot of things about that. But, you know, I just don't want to get in, you know, I'm just going to speak for myself and say that I left for good reason. Okay. I left for many reasons, many reasons. And honestly, this is a calling for me right now. What I'm doing right now behind the mic is my calling. Not necessarily this particular episode and show, but to have, to connect people with God that's my thing. That's my thing because I've experienced that and it's real. The whole connection with God thing is real. I experienced it. And it got even stronger after I was baptized. So this is definitely a calling for me. But there are many, many factors of my old job that made me leave. And a lot of it showed during the riots. A lot of what it is instead of what I thought it was showed during the 2020 riots for sure. And it made me sick to my stomach. It really made me sick to my stomach because, I love this country and I don't want the deaths of Americans who have sacrificed their life to be in vain. Like I don't want them to die for nothing, right? Because of them, I'm able to live in such a great country. And that's my stance on it. And I had to leave because I had to leave. My time was up. My purpose to serve what it served when I was in there was served. And so I move on to the next chapter of my life. So that's pretty much where I'm at when it comes to me being. I was a cop for 15 years, man. 15 years. And I almost lost my family because of that job. And I've given a lot of myself to that job. But at the end of it all, like, I had to find what was really important to me, And to me, my relationship with God and my relationship with my family, that's what's the most important to me now. Because I missed a lot of that when I was working. Because I used to work a lot. So, man, talking about my old job. Okay. Where are we at? Oh, it's 11:45. Man. Let's do one more. Here. Hold on, as I'm trying to find it right now. Okay. This is going to be the last article overview for today. There will be a day where I will come out and explain a lot more, and I'll show my face too, But for right now, I really gotta let time go by a little bit more. Because look, I really want you guys to see who I am. I do. But because of stuff that's happened in the past, like I have to hide behind my logo for now. I do. But there have been people that I've met in person who are in the foxhole. They've met me. There have been less than a handful of people that know exactly what I'm all about. They do. And I'm not trying to toot my horn or anything like that, but I think that I'm a very patriotic person. I think I love this country. I think, I am true to what I say. I am the same person in real life than I am behind the mic. I have no way of faking anything. I just don't know how to fake it. I'm a horrible faker. My wife knows this too. She can pick up on. That's why I don't lie to my wife, because she already knows. Like, she knows when I'm bullishing her or not. Anyhow, let's see. Whiskey Blue says, for what it's worth, I think these interactions with the chat are the best shows. Well, thank you, Whiskey. I think so too. I really like the whole interaction with not just having a show and present it, but having this conversation between the listeners and myself, because we learn about each other. It's personal, we get to know each other. You get to know me. I get to know a little bit about you. And I think it's great because this is beautiful that we're building something here, We're building a connection here, and I think that's great. Kiss, thank you for dropping the link tree there. By the way, guys, if you have not followed me in any of the other social media platforms, please do so. I need followers. Especially like on my Twitter, I only have like 2 followers. Build me up. Help build me up. Nah, it doesn't matter. You do what you want. But honestly, I really want this whole thing to grow. And I would rather have 5 followers who are loyal than to have a bunch of followers and all I see are like 3 people at a time. I like having the genuine people around me because I will be genuine to you. Okay? There's nothing about me that's gonna fake the funk or pretend to be somebody I'm not. I just don't know how to do that. What you hear behind the mic here with me is the same person you'll get in person. And I'm hoping that in the chats that whatever you guys present to me as yourself, I get the same person that I get when I meet you in person. If ever. But anyways, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, CloutHub, Gab, Twitter. You can also follow me on CloutHub. Did I say CloutHub? YouTube, BitChute, and Twitch. And if you haven't followed me on pill.net or foxhole. Or I would say pill.net because you can't follow anybody on Foxhole because they're both the same. Please hit that follow button so you get a notification when I will be on for my next show. And I do put out my show schedule on those social media outlets if you do follow me. And your follow is greatly appreciated. There are many ways you can support the show, not only via gold pills, which are in the foxhole.app or pill.net, but you can also support the show financially using my Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Or you can go to my merch store and support me that way too. Be on the lookout for my new shirt that's coming out, I want to say soon, but it all depends on the freaking artist. But anyhow, please, and if you can't support the show financially, the easiest thing to do is copy and share the link to whatever social media outlet you're in. So please help the show grow. All right, let's go review this last article for the night. My throat is about to give up from all the freaking ranting that I did today. Let's take you to the article here. This one comes from stupid.news again. It was published on January 28th of this year by S.D. Wells. Woman at Michigan school board meetings blows whistle on litter boxes placed in school bathrooms for students who identify as cats. Okay, I'm kind of like, you know, that hand over the face kind of deal. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. What has happened to society? What has happened? What has happened? Let's read on. Over the past couple decades, corporations have flooded the American food supply with chemicals and hormones that are disrupting children's normal development. I agree with that statement, including hormones in the meat and dairy products and chemicals in plastic food containers and canned foods. Now, social media is brain warping children into thinking they need operations to change their gender and more hormones to change their body hair, voices, and breast size. Yeah, I'm on like what the hell right now. And finally, to cap this all off, the term furies refers, or furries, I would say, not furies, furries, refers to children who identify as cats or dogs. Okay, I get it when kids are pretending to be cats and dogs when they're playing, but to identify as such, I think the parents should say, no, you're not a cat, you're not a dog, you're a boy or you're a girl. So that's on the parents. I would say that that's on the parents, but I don't know what the hell happened to parenthood. I really don't. Parents are freaking weak nowadays. And the educators are being forced to comply with this ridiculousness or face job term. Are you kidding me? Job termination? Really? Really? The term furries can refer to children who claim to identify as a cat, dog, goat, or rat. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. I mean, seriously, dude. Gosh. At a recent school board meeting, it was revealed that a Michigan school literally placed little... Dude, are you freaking... Dude, I would be pissed. As a parent, I would be... Dude, I would take that litter box and smash it on the face of the superintendent or principal of the school. Oh, place litter boxes in the unit. Oh gosh, are you serious? Unisex. There better be only one toilet or something in there, which you can close the door and lock it. In the unisex bathrooms for students who identify as cats, are they using them? Talk about breaking Charlie safety guidelines. This brings a whole new stupidity. Stupidity in this catering to gender fluid. Dude, what the hell is gender fluid, man? What is that? Madness escaped, except now it's warped into species fluid. What the dude, what is going on here, man? Has Satan really gotten a grasp of all these Billy, go pick up those pencils you dropped. Bark, bark, Amy, stop fighting. Meow, if the teachers don't bark or meow back, they can be fired on the spot. Are you freaking kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me? Just like the substitute teacher who called roll improperly when she refused to meow back to a cat student. Her rant went viral on social media. Yes, this is happening in America right now. Dude, I am so glad my daughter is not in these freaking schools, man. Because even my daughter will be like, what the hell are you doing? My daughter is just like me. If she sees this ridiculousness, she's going to turn around to the kid and says, what the hell are you doing? I can see it. I can see it already. And my daughter would get in trouble, and I'll, instead of getting mad, I'll give her a high five, dude. Now, a woman at a Michigan school board meeting is saying enough. Really? Only now? This shouldn't even have begun to begin with. She plans to investigate how many schools are doing this and try to put a stop to it. Dude, this is, oh man. I'm glad my daughter's not in these conventional schools anymore, or not. She didn't even start in I'm just glad she's not in it. If this is true, all Charlie safety protocols goes flying out the window, and nobody should be required to wear muzzles or get victors. If the cats are peeing and pooping in school litter boxes, they share and step in together. And the dogs are peeing on the street poles and fire hydrants in front of the schools. This is bad. I've peed on a few poles, but not because I thought it was a dog. It's because I was probably drunk. I'm just saying. Where is this all going? And when and where is it going to end? If the children declare themselves as rats or goats, then won't they be able to speak in class anymore? Oh, okay. This is making sense now. This is making sense. It's another angle of restricting speech. But now they're brainwashing the kids. Into not saying anything. Do you see that, guys? And the teacher can't ask them any more questions ever again. How dumb is this? All students must wear oxygen-depriving muzzles all day for safety, supposedly, but acting like wild cats and dogs in bathrooms in school. PC gender. What is that? What does that mean? What does that mean? Policy? What are the U.S. schools turning kids into? And how can any real learning get accomplished if there are all these perverted and senseless distractions put in place that if teachers don't respect or comply, they get fired? Well, here's the thing. Quit your job, dude. Quit your job, man. Is it going to be hard financially? Yeah. But you know what? Find other means of using your teaching degree if you actually believe in teaching. Because this program that my daughter's in right now, hands down, like, if this program was around when my son was her age, he would be in that program too. But it wasn't before. But my daughter's been in this program ever since she was kindergarten, and she is excelling. Even though she don't like to do her homework and stuff, but that's just natural because she's the fruit of my tree. I hated doing homework, but she's very intelligent, you know? Well, it's showing a little link there. If you guys are interested in looking at it, I ain't going to click on it. Trans anything, animal fluidity, perverted youth sex changes promoted in America as distraction from communist takeover happening in Washington, D.C. Exactly. This is all a way to freaking restrict speech. Because they have to take away the First Amendment in order for them to destroy the country, right? It's making sense. It's not making sense, but it is making sense. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks that this nonsense is making sense as far as how our enemy thinks. One way communism is installed in a country is to have the populace so distracted by perversions, self-gratifications, drugs, pornography, and low self-esteem that nobody pays attention to big government decimating the Constitution, annihilating human rights, and growing in power multiplicativity. I don't know how to say that word. The parents of these children are also manipulated by the doctors. Yeah, you think? By the doctors, surgeons, and psychologists. Man, psychologists is what I call them. Who won't let the parents into the room where sex change operations, gender fluidity, and hormone pills are all being discussed and promoted by the doctors themselves. This is sickening, dude. This is sickening. Then the doctors and children team up against the parents and vie for operations and hormones that can alter their child's functionality forever and cause cancer too. Surgeons love the money they make off expensive surgeries that make the child's ears forever pointy on top, or remove testicles, or sew on fake breasts. Dude, this is Satan's work. This is Satan's work, dude. This is definitely all satanic. It's satanic. Because it's not in humanity to do that. It's all satanic. Some children and teens are scared, maimed, and mutilated for life, including the destruction of reproductive abilities. How else do you freaking control a population, right? Often leading to thoughts of suicide and suicide itself. Maybe everything should remain the way nature intended, because that's how God made us. Organic body and mind, just like our food and medicine should always be. That's the article. That's the last one. That is the last article for the night. Back to the bar. Let me go back to these chat rooms real quick. Whiskey Blue says, well, I was actually asking Speak, but do you like it? What do you... Hold on. What were you asking? Oh, yeah. I definitely love this type of interaction, Whiskey. I do. I really do. Because to me, you guys are not just listeners. To me, I'm establishing some kind of relationship, because one day I'm going to meet you guys. There's some way, somehow, our paths are going to cross. If it's not going to be in this world, it's definitely going to be in the next. And I definitely want to establish this relationship with you. So absolutely, I love these kind of. This is my thing. This is how I run my show. Other people may do things like report stuff, or share some kind of things that people don't know. But for me, I just like the connection with people. But most of all, being the person to chain your hand with God's hand that's awesome right there. That's awesome. Whiskey Blue says, litter boxes, dear Lord. Coco says, laugh aloud, still getting used to it. I bounce between so many sites to get me through the work night and stay informed and entertained for the most. Well, I'm glad that I ease your pain for work, because I used to do the same thing. I would work midnight shifts too when I was working as a cop. And since I was working in a jail, the spot that I was in, I was able to kind of put stuff on lurk and just be and participate when I could, only because of the position that I was put in, the actual assignment that I had. So I was fortunate enough to, still interact and do all that stuff while I was working and lurking. Coco says, this is creepy crap. The devil is absolutely. And we have to realize, we have to recognize this. Although sometimes these things are hard to talk about, we have to know about them, because we need to know our enemies, right? We need to know how to recognize these things as they come. We do. That's just the reality of life. There's a lot of things that we don't want to hear about, but we have to, because if we don't, how are we going to recognize them? Or you would, if you would be mentally prepared to take care of whatever needed to be taken care of, then you'd be prepared, because you kind of know, you're already a little bit on the know. Whiskey Blue says, I'm only on Foxhole, Gab, and Rumble. Oh, I'm on Rumble too. Oh, by the way, I am on Rumble too. I think I put one video out there, but I do have a Rumble account. Man, I got to put that up on my link tree too. Coco shaking her head. Yeah, I was shaking my head too. I was putting my hand over my face while reading some of this stuff. See it for what it is. School plays on a whole other sick level. Yeah, no, absolutely. Because, I mean, they're getting to our kids. They like, forget the adults. You know, it's all about freaking swaying, because kids are very easily swayed. And that's how they freaking get to the kid. Like, that's how the whole culture changes, is when you start doing these things to the kids. Then as they get older, they believe what they learned, and then they start, you get what I'm saying. That's how they they influence a whole society, is when they get to the kids, because like I said, the kids are very easily swayed. They really are. Kiss, thank you so much for dropping the link for the link tree. Whiskey uneffin' real. Yeah, I wish it was unreal, dude. But apparently, according to this article, like, a lot of schools are doing this. But I'm glad, at least for me, and I'm not saying that I'm glad that this. I'm saying that I'm glad that my daughter's not involved in that. Okay, my daughter has been homeschooled from day one, from kindergarten, even till now. And she, and the great thing about this is, especially now that I'm home too, I can hear what she's learning while she's learning. And if there's some BS that they're going to start teaching, then I would get on the mic on the freaking computer and tell the teacher, F off, you ain't teaching my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So that's one good thing about the thing that she's doing for her school thing, is that we're present. Like, we're here, we can hear and see things that she's learning. But everything's been good from what she's learning. Everything's been good. Coco says homeschool is where it ends, or these good teachers coming out and being separate and making their own school. No, and that's exactly what I'm saying. If these people who got degrees to become teachers really believe in teaching, and they're in this kind of school system, and they don't believe in that, but they're only doing it because they don't want to lose their job, whatever, they need to start thinking outside the box. They need to start thinking outside the box, because now you're giving up your morality for a job, for a paycheck, you're selling yourself for money, is pretty much what it is. Now, you need, as a teacher, you need to make that decision whether you're going to go with this because you're getting paid, or are you going to get out of this and just do what a teacher is supposed to do on your own. Is it going to be hard if you do it on your own? Hell yeah, it's going to be hard. But I'm beginning to suspect that a lot more parents will be pulling their kids out of school and looking for things like this. And also with the parents too. And I understand that the way the system, the way the matrix is made, is to have both parents work. So then they don't guide their kid. No, parents need to make that decision too. What's more important, the money or the quality of your family? And a lot of people, they don't think about that. I thought about it because I was a different I'm just like you guys. This whole red pill thing. I definitely don't want my kids growing up in a effed up society when they get older, when they have their own families. So now that I'm still young enough to fight this battle, I'm fighting it. So then they don't have to fight. But the way things are going, I think they're going to have to fight. And I don't want that to happen, but I think they're going to have to go through something. A lot of people are so apathetic. They don't want to do anything. They're so comfortable in their life. Well, you know what? being in the right doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be comfortable. It's going to be a rough ride. If you want to live your life on the right path, you need to be able to go through those rough times too. Because without those rough times, like, how can you strengthen how can society as a whole be strengthened if you don't go through these rough patches? How? Explain that to me. This country, when it was founded, went through a very rough time. It did. But it was necessary, right? People are afraid. They're just scared to go through a little rough time in their life. Well, rough times don't last forever. If you definitely believe in what you believe in, and you focus solely on what you need to do to make it right, then it's worth it. Instead of living this comfortable life and then just slowly accepting things that are not acceptable. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking a lot of gibberish and nonsense because I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Let's see. Coco says nasty-ish, shaking my head, muzzles. Whiskey is meowing and barking. I really don't want to laugh about this because these are kids, man. These are kids. Coco says they just don't want kids to be kids anymore. They are after the baby. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, why do you want to say that it's a boy? Why do you want to say it's a girl? Blah, 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 blah. Dude, I don't know, man. Whiskey says, I have a friend that let his 10-year-old decide she wanted to be a boy. Now she's Lance, hormone what? She's like 17. Oh, that's only going to lead to like destruction for themselves, man. That's child abuse when it comes to parents who do that to their kids, man. Like, I understand let kids be kids, but you still need to differentiate because the hormone stuff it's different. It's different for females and males, Hey Liz, how are you? Hello, Speak. I was on Facebook watching. I know you're about to get out of here. Well, yeah, I'm about to close out soon, after I rant. Wanted to stop by and say howdy. Well, thank you for stopping by here, girl. I really appreciate you coming by. Like I said, I love seeing my regulars here because it brings me a lot of joy because it says that these people, they like you. They like your company, and I like your companies as well. Kiss, thank you for dropping the link so much. Thank you so much. Oh, Liz with the shades. Thank you. Praying for America. Yeah, I'm always praying. Trust me, I always am. I always am. Kiss, thank you again thank you so much for dropping those. Thank you. Man, I really appreciate your help trying to build me up. You want to talk about somebody who's picking somebody up right now. Thank you so much, Kiss. Love ya. Love ya. Liz Garcia says, you're right. We are living weird times. I wouldn't say it's weird times. It's already been prophesized, If you follow what scripture says, this is exactly what's happening. And it has to happen. And, our job is to make sure that we get as much people as we can on God's side. That's people who are awake. That's our responsibility. And I know you can only do so much. Don't force anybody, don't force them because there's still free will. God is not the type of God to freaking force you to worship him. You yourself worship him because it's out of your free will. And we should treat other people as such. If they want to be able to come to the light, then let them. Allow them to come for themselves. If they don't want to, then that's on them. You know, you don't have the responsibility of forcing them to come to the light. If they want to come to the light, let them. They will. If you give them a little bit, they will. If you pray for them, they will. But if they don't, that's on them. You can only do as much as you can. Okay? I'm not saying go out there and like, you know, force people to do this, and the other, or force information into their brain. Give them something where they'll be curious about it. Pardon me. Give them something that they'll be curious about. And they will decide for themselves whether or not they want to come to the light or not. That's all I have to say when it comes to that. You know? It's just like the last episode that we watched of AD with Paul. You know, when he was having these debates with Peter and everybody else who followed Jesus, he was given a little bit, right? Until he was shown. Until Jesus appeared to him and he was blinded. He himself, from inside of him, decided that he was going to change. So we have to treat everybody else the same way. Like we don't force anything on people. We give them a little bit. We give them a little where they become curious so they come and see for themselves. That's when they have the free will to decide whether or not they want to be in the light or they want to be in the dark. That's as much as I can, that's as much advice I can give. You know, I when I talk to people out in real life, I always mention God and stuff. You know, even if it's just to tell them God bless you. And you know, I don't really wait for the reaction. I just kind of plant that saying in their head to make him, you know, to make him know that I do follow God and I wish the best for you through God. So, you know, I just give a little bit. I don't go into these long ass conversations or quote debates. If I have a conversation with somebody and it becomes an interesting one, then yeah, that's cool. But, you know, usually I like to feel out people's conversations first. And if I know it's somebody I won't click with, either way, I tell them, I wish them a God bless. And, you know, it's up to them. Whether they, you know, I kind of plant that seed, right, of God into their head. All right, let's keep on going here with the chats. Kiss says, you're very welcome, bro. Well, I'm very thankful. I really am. Liz says, amen, prophecy is unfolding before our eyes. It's scary, but, you know, it's scary. It's more scary if you're not on the side of God. So, is it scary? Yes, but, you know, when the devil comes to your face, you shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't be afraid. But you have to be spiritually equipped to fight. Okay? Let's get this thing straight here, because if you're a non-believer and if the devil appears to you and you recognize the devil as such, but have no spiritual weapons or not on the side of God, you're still going to lose that battle. And I'm not saying that for you people to do, you know, to tell, I'm not telling you like, oh, you need to be, you decide for yourself what you want to do. But for me, I want to be on the side of, I want to be on Team God. And I am making sure that I am spiritually equipped, because even though I've had encounters with the devil himself, I know that I'm spiritually equipped. Let's see. Coco says, amen, speak. Provoking thought goes a long way. Provoking thought sent me on searches. I still am not done searching since the 90s, it seems. And it is amazing how it's aligning. I'm telling you, a little bit. Just give a little bit, just a little bit. And say it in a way where they'll be wondering about, what do you mean by that, Biblically lining didn't see that part coming the way we do. What's by now? Yeah. I was never like a God guy per se. I did believe in God, but I was never the type of person to be a cheerleader. But I am a proud cheerleader now. I really am a proud cheerleader of God, and I will continue this work as long as I live, and I'm glad that I'm in this journey with a bunch of you guys, because if you're coming here on a consistent basis, then that tells me that you're in for the walk with me. And I'm very happy that we all can share this experience, because let's face it, it's not going to be an easy one to walk by yourself. It gets hard as we walk further and further and further, and we're there for each other to pick each other up, which is another reason why I like to say pick each other up too, or pick up somebody when they need the pickup. So absolutely, man. Whiskey Blue says yes. Liz Garcia says we have to put on the full armor of God to fight these I can't argue that. I am not arguing that. You need to prepare yourself. You need to make sure you got your spiritual weapons with you, because the devil will appear to you. And a lot of people think that the devil is this one big ugly ass beast. Nah. It can be a beautiful woman enticing you to something. It could be, because the devil's there to deceive you. And if the devil comes at you in a very beastly way or ugly way, of course you're going to be like, all scared and just turn away right away. But if you get sucked into something like if you're like a beautiful woman, right? And you know that this beautiful woman does a lot of bad things, that could be another way of you getting sucked into that. So you need to learn how to recognize that. You really have to learn how to recognize stuff like that. Sometimes it gets difficult with the discernment and stuff because you're distracted, but you have to. And I admit, and I'm always going to admit that I struggle. I have struggles with many things, especially when it comes to women. Like, I struggle. Like, I always turn around and look at, that's just, and I know it's wrong, and I struggle with that. And at least I can recognize that I'm struggling with it, and I'm doing my best to work hard on not to do that, because even though I'm not trying to have a relationship with that girl or whatever, it's the thought too that counts as sin from what I understand. And I really don't want to be that type of person. I don't. So I'm trying. And I've said this many times, I'm just like everybody else. We all go through our struggles. I go through my struggles. And it's not easy. It isn't. But I recognize it, and I ask God every time in prayer, to please give me the strength to overcome stuff like this. So, yeah. Let's see. Whiskey Blue says, such a good show, filled with faith. As time goes on, Whiskey, and the more perverse things that we see, our faith needs to be stronger. It needs to be stronger. We really need to connect with God in our personal way. Okay? Like I said, I'm not here to force you to have a relationship with God. And I'm not talking to just you. I'm just talking in general. I'm not here to be the quote sidewalk preacher. But what I am here to tell you is that my experience, I'm sharing with you my experience, and I'm sharing with you my thoughts and what I think. Okay. And look, I'm a big proponent on free will, because that's what God has given us. That's what God gave Adam and Eve, free will. But with whatever choice you make, you need to face the consequences, right? And for you people that have been here where I'm reading the Apocrypha with the book of Adam and Eve, I mean, dude, Adam is like, oh, please take us. I can't bear this anymore. Like, dude, you guys made a bad decision. You got to face the consequence. God told you to face the consequence, and that's what you got to do. So, I'm just here to kind of guide you into what my experience is and what I'm going through and my thoughts, in hopes that you guys will look at it instead of making mistakes. It's kind of like telling your kids something so